Hi, my name is Whatley, and today I'm going to try to discuss the research I did on cognitive dissonance and the effects it can have on our career and educational decision making. Um, Leon Festinger in 1957 came out with the cognitive dissonance theory, which basically discusses the conflict between our internal desires and external pressure and how we can change our values and beliefs because we want to maintain relationships and avoid conflict in our life. We do things against our nature to keep things passive. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be like my dad. I wanted to be a firefighter. I wanted to be a soccer star. All these things. But as I grew older, I realized I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I joined the Navy. 17 years old, because that's what my dad did. He joined the Navy. Did what he did. I was told basically it was my only choice. And I'd done many other jobs since then, but it wasn't until 10 years ago when I decided to come back to school that I realized that I never did those things for me. I did them because someone either directed me a certain way or someone told me I had to do a certain thing because I was supposed to be this thing, this producer, this, take care of things. And so I did what I had to do to survive. But now, doing what I'm doing now, the job I have and my approach to school, I'm fulfilled. I'm happy. I made a decision for myself. And I was scared at first because I didn't know how people around me would take my decisions. And it turns out all those fears were for naught because, everybody was happy. I finally made a choice. So I faced cognitive dissonance in my life that I probably didn't need to. But based on my experience, I wanted to talk to other people that had been down the same road, that had initially chosen a career path or an educational path that was something not that they desired, but because somebody else wanted them to do. And I wanted to know how did external forces impact the career and educational choices they initially made, and what was a turning point in their life where they reached and they realized they needed to make a change. And how were they able to face this conflict? How was it discussed and was it resolved? And if they were able to recognize dissonance in other aspects of their life. And to do this research, I used a qualitative approach using semi-structured interviews. I interviewed 3 adults. Each interview was like 30 to 45 minutes. I recorded each one of the interviews with their permission. I transcribed them by hand and asked the participants to review them to ensure they were accurate. The interviews focused on our childhood dreams. They focused on the external influences in their life, focused on fears and their fear of the outcome of them changing their past and the results of them changing their past. To analyze the interviews, I used Brown and Clark's 6-phase thematic analysis to look for patterns in external pressure and personal realignment. To ensure it was credible, I used standard questions. I documented everything carefully, and again had the participants review the transcripts to ensure they were accurate. I wanted to maintain trustworthiness and replicability. In the findings, basically each one of the participants seemed to share core experiences: external pressure, emotional suppression, transformative insight where they finally recognize something in themselves, a reclaimed agency. They found themselves again, and they're doing something for themselves. The dissonance in each one of them, some of it extended beyond just their career, educational, into other aspects of their lives, and they were able to pull that in and refocus it to bring in a broader identity formation. The results from this made me realize that cognitive dissonance is it's a common thing. It happens to a lot of us, and some of us are able to recognize it and make a change in our life, and some of us don't and continue down the path they're on. I was almost on that path, and now I'm not. And the 3 people I interviewed, each one of them had a different experience, but it was the same result. One of them wanted to be a doctor, but chose to run the family's restaurant because that's what the family wanted. One of them wanted to be a clown and was forced to do something else because she was forced to raise her sister. And one of them wanted to be an engineer and didn't become one because he realized that as good as I am at this, I want to do something else. And when he tried to change his idea on what he wanted to do for education, that's when he got his pushback and he didn't know what he wanted to do. So he finally made a decision for himself to pursue a career in something he knew he'd be happy at, something he could use the experience he had. And he had to basically talk to his family, let them know this is what I want, and I need you to support me. I was not really surprised by the results. I was profoundly happy, learning that what I was experiencing is not just me, and it makes me want to research this further. I want to expand it geographically. I want to expand it demographically. I really want to find what it is about our lives that make us make these decisions because somebody else wants them. I'll make a decision for me. We all deserve that. I hope this was helpful.